What is up, hotties? Welcome back to another episode of Stay Hot, brought to you by our good friends over at FanDuel. I'm Blaiden Kirk, joined as always by my two favorite co-hosts of all time, Matthew Sponhour and Theo Ashton. Today, now that the NFL season is over, we're giving you our top 10 moments from the 2025 NFL season. Now, we did not discuss what constitutes a moment, so
Yes.
I'm interested to see what angles you guys took here. I tried to be very restricted to moments that happened in games, but I'm open to being. I considered like trades. That was kind of like, should I do that? But
Yeah.
I felt like the honorable thing to do was just to focus.
I think you're honorable. The only thing that I really would be a stickler about is like the time in a game. If you get too close to a full game, then it's just like, what are our top 10 games? I think that's a lot less interesting. So,
Yeah.
I only have a couple of moments here that are any longer than like a few minutes, I think, of a game. They're mostly just plays.
Yes.
I have all plays. I thought about the Micah trade because that is a huge moment.
Yes.
But
Mhm.
I think this pod was inspired by us enjoying doing the top 10 moments of the NFL history since 2000. And then also me and Matt did top 10 moments in NBA history since 2000. And we kept those, I think, on the court.
I'll admit I went for the Parsons trade, but I said last time I said it's got to be all in game. So
Yeah.
I have one extra as like my if there's no Parsons trade, but I've also placed the Parsons trade on here. So
I get it. I mean, I'm not going to pretend to
going
be
against
dumb
everything I stood for.
and not think about the Parsons trade as a moment. Like, we were recording when we got the news. It was crazy. I didn't put it in. I didn't put Bo Nix's injury in. That was the other one that I thought was really crazy from this season, was getting that news a couple minutes after the Bronco game ended, was my friend showing me his phone and then a notification that Nix will need surgery and was out for the rest of the playoffs. Like, that probably measured somewhere on the top 10 in the Richter scale, but to me, it just wasn't a play. I just stuck with plays. It was a play, but we didn't know that it happened during that play. It happened outside of the game.
it was a piece of news for sure.
For sure. So you could have done that. I think I did the Halliburton injury in the NBA one, but that was in the middle of the game. That was, we knew it happened. We knew it would affect Game 7 and all that. This one, we didn't really know what happened. The Broncos went on to win anyway. I didn't think it deserved a place, but it is. I think there's a million different ways you could go about this. I was thinking, if you asked an analytics nerd, if you asked Nate Silver the 10 biggest moments of the year, if you asked Kyle Shanahan the 10 biggest moments of the year, if you asked ESPN's social media manager the 10 biggest moments of the year, and you asked like an 11-year-old Seahawks fan the 10 biggest moments of the year, you'd get like 4 very different lists with very little crossover. I imagine there's just so many different ways to parse this.
A lot of weighting like impact and deciding the basic result of the season versus just like how cool it was. So I think sometimes you say like, this was a massive moment and it kind of like maybe didn't decide everything, versus like, this did kind of like swing the season in a major way. And I agree. I also left off any injury. I think it's just like, because then it's, well, if you think about how this injury swung, then it's like, they're all like, I guess they're bad things in the sense that like a lot of them help one team win and the other team lose. But I'm trying to avoid like the list being full of like, this guy broke his leg. Remember that? Remember when this other guy tore his ACL? I don't think that makes for a good podcast.
Top three moments of the year: Tucker Kraft injury, Michael Parsons injury, Zach Tom injury, Elton Jenkins injury.
Right.
So I just want to get into it. Does that pause mean we're ready to start at 10 here?
I think it does mean we're ready to start at 10. And Theo, I think you have someone that you want to bring on to discuss your number 10 spot.
I do. I need help with my number 10 spot because I was debating 2 Caleb Williams plays. And so I wanted to bring on Manny, our producer, to help me parse out which Caleb Williams throws deserves the number 10 spot. I was thinking about, well, Manny, how are you doing? Let's introduce him properly. How are you doing, Manny?
Yes.
Man, I'm doing amazing. What a season to be a Bears fan, especially coming off of those Green Bay wins. Not to get too ahead of into the plays, but I think sometimes you just gotta pick the play that's like, which play did I wake up happier the next day? Like,
Perfect. This is why we need your insight.
That's a great way to look at it that we totally lack perspective on.
I lack perspective on that. So what play meant more to you for the 10 spot? I've got 4th and 8 in the playoffs, right? And I've got the overtime game winner to DJ Moore. Which one would you put higher on your list of Bears plays for the season?
Honestly, that DJ Moore touchdown is one of those plays that I feel like you're never going to forget as a Bears fan. I mean, it's not like people are going to forget that Caleb Williams 4th down conversion to like Rome Odunze. That was crazy. Just the fact that he was able to get that throw in that moment, 8 yards down with the kind of torque that he puts on his body with these throws is just like next level insane. But man, like I was yelling all the way across the house or the apartment. So, bro, I probably could have got the neighbors like calling the police on me or something. But the next day, I woke up so peachy, man. After that DJ Moore game winner, and I'm a storyteller, you know. I don't know if I'm sure you guys know. Like I went to film school or whatever, like not in a
right
way, but at the end of the day, I feel like
in an Aurora sort of way, in
a low key community college kind of way. not a big Ivy League school kind of way. That had everything. It had spectacle. The call was great too. Oh my God, just like DJ Moore going for it all. It is. It's like it had a full 3-act structure, man. It had the first act with the setup, the second act with balls in the air, going for it all. DJ Moore, you don't really know if he has it or not. And then the climax, he falls down, arms out. And even then, I'm like, everyone's going crazy, so I'm going to go crazy. But it's like I needed to wait to see if the fucking ref, if his hands were up, if it was a touchdown, because that was just so unbelievable. Oh man, that play had everything, man. Honestly,
for it to walk it off.
You don't get many walk off. I think it gets a lot of points for being part of a comeback and being against a division rival. And the throw was money, but I think it also helps that like it's kind of contested, right? Like Nixon was there and had a chance to break it up. So it's not one of those plays where you pan and immediately you're like, oh yeah, we got him. It's like, ooh, I don't know. And then he still hauls it in anyway. For the record, I had that one on my list at 10.
Oh, perfect.
I'm going to be honest with you. I think you guys have this play way too low.
I'm looking at it now. I might have it too low.
Absolute cinema. Like I think about the play I had as an honorable mention was like the Cam Little 68-yard field goal. And I was like, that breaks a record. It's a cool kick, but it really doesn't crack the list because it was right before halftime and it like cut the lead from 6-3.
I think that's a fair honorable mention. You know what? I didn't consider that, but I think you could definitely get that into the 10 area. I could see the argument for it.
But it's not, to me, it wasn't, because it's not like Tucker's was like they had to rush the kicking team out.
Right.
And like game winner, 66 yards, also said like the moment was so much bigger to hit that kick than Cam Little's was. But I feel kind of the inverse with the Packers play where I'm like, that is the absolute biggest. Like, Manny, am I wrong in saying that's the biggest play you've ever witnessed as a Bears fan?
Bro,
it's not.
I saw videos of people like this cop. It was like it was this cop who showed up on a ring cam. Unfortunately, now after the Super Bowl commercial, but it was like on a ring camera, and then the neighbors came out and they were like, "Oh, I'm sorry, it was just like the craziest play, DJ Moore touchdown." And the cop was like, "Oh no, yeah, I get it. Like, all right, like whatever." It's just so crazy, man.
I could definitely see a world where I have this one too low and both deserve to be on the list.
Here's the argument I'll make for it being on the list but not crazy high. the Bears were kind of in control when it happened. They kind of had the Packers on their heels. They had the ball. I'm not mistaken in thinking the Packers got the ball to start overtime and had to punt, right? There was only like 5 minutes left.
No, the Bears got it to start overtime and they punted. Then Malik Willis had it, and then he immediately fumbled the snap. And then it was
regardless, it was field goal to win, and they were already in Packer territory, and it was 1st and 10. Like, it would have been a relative blunder not to win the game from that position, I think. And that's what stops it from being like really crazy high up there. Like, if that throw happens, but it's like you're down late in the fourth quarter, then I think it's, top 3, probably maybe 1 or something like that. But that's what stopped me from putting it way, way high. I don't think it was like lose if you don't get this at all.
Yeah, I agree. I think it being post Micah injury, no Jordan Love Packers makes it probably the worst opponent.
Yeah, it was probably just totally fraudulent anyway, and the Bears were lucky to even be in the game because of the injuries.
Most fraudulent opponent. But it is one of the greatest walk-offs ever. It is one of the greatest walk-offs ever.
I had, can I say where I had this play?
Sure, yeah.
I had it 2.
I think that's way too high.
Really?
That's insane. We'll get to it. That's an insane placement in my opinion.
Okay.
Can I run another Bears moment as an honorable mention
for sure?
Because it is, I don't think, looking at all the moments over the years, I was just kind of thinking about them because there are so many Bears moments that were just like insane throughout this whole year. And, they mean so much more to, I'm a biased Bears fan. I'm going to have like 5 or 6 fucking,
they had a crazy season.
They had a crazy season. And so there's so many that you could like really honestly pick at like this lower kind of 10 spot. That throw in the Bengals game to Loveland to the game. And like, it was more so just Loveland fucking bodying these dudes, getting to the end zone. But the one that I low key as a low key honorable mention is the Raiders field goal kick to win the game. I feel like it kind of started this whole cardiac Bears thing. And so when you kind of look at it from those eyes, whether or not you believe in momentum or like culture changing and stuff like that, I think that was like, you could point to that moment after that Cowboys. Oh, and the flea flicker. Oh my goodness, that flea flicker was crazy.
They had a crazy season, and there certainly are just some years, some teams just have that. We're winning all of our late games. Yeah, Gene. I remember both of the times the Panthers made the Super Bowl, they were just that type of team that just always found a way and always got it done in crazy fashion. So. No,
and if we were doing top 5 throws of the year, it might all be Caleb Williams. And there's one that doesn't even get talked about anymore that might be his best. Like, the NFL posted a compilation of like his best throws, and the caption was like, Caleb Williams really had throw of the year 5 times. And his real best throw wasn't even on there. It's like, and they were all valid. And like, there's just not even room for the Ravens throw. The throw against the Ravens with DJ Moore on the double move, I think might be his best throw of the whole year, and you don't even see that one like get talked about because there's so many other great ones. So Caleb kind of does own this list. Caleb owns this list, and bad things happening to the Rams own this list. If I was a Rams fan, I would not listen to this episode, just as a forewarning. But thank you, Manny, for your input. We'll move on to the other number 10s, but I like your perspective. I'll put the post at number 10.
At number 10, Matt, which one did you have?
I had the walk-off DJ Moore touchdown.
Oh, okay. So then it's just me that needs to give my number 10. For number 10, it is more kind of a series of moments. It's that second half of the Broncos and Commanders game, but I really want to focus on the Treylon Burks catch. This is 9-2 Broncos against 3-8 Commanders without Jaden Daniels. It's Marcus Mariota out there. And I just remember Mariota was playing his absolute heart out. He's running with aggression and danger. He's stiff-arming guys. I'm watching Oregon Ducks Marcus Mariota right now. And then I'm watching Arkansas Treylon Burks go absolutely nuclear. Like, this is like that catch, I think, was like a microcosm of that game. Just like leaping up above all odds to stay in this game no matter what.
Yeah.
That to me was just such a fun game to watch, and so I had to mention it in some capacity.
It was
What
a
I remember
crazy
about
catch.
What I remember about that game is everything being really easy for the Broncos and then everything being really, really hard for the Commanders. Like 15-yard penalties into 3rd and 25, into conversions to Terry McLaurin, into just literally
And it came down
giving
to the
it
last
all.
play. It came down,
to the last play. I might put if I had to put one play down from that game, I might do that last play to cap off all the bananas stuff that happened before it. But the Burks catch, I mean, the Burks catch might be the most memorable over the course of that. So at number 10,
it's one of the most memorable catches from this season.
I don't hate its inclusion, but I didn't think much of it just because they ended up losing and just because they really were the Commanders the whole year.
Yeah,
they were, and that's why I put it at 10. But because it really was kind of meaningless in the grand scheme of things. But I just thought it was such a fun game, and I loved watching that one so much. So, What did you guys have at number 9?
Phillip Rivers' return.
Oh my goodness. I didn't even think about including it.
It has to make the list. I understand that in the grand scheme of things, it's meaningless, but like literally no way that is not one of the 10 biggest moments of the season. And it's kind of cheating because I guess you could call it like a game, or you could just say like the moment he walked in or whatever. But in terms of like the hype that built around that, where you see the report and you're like, they're talking to Phillip Rivers, and you're like, is this a Condoleezza Rice type of situation where like someone's just gotten some bad info and they're like weeding somebody out? Because that can't possibly be true. Like Rivers was in not awesome shape 5 years ago. He's going to be eligible for the Hall of Fame, albeit like he wasn't going to get him first ballot or anything.
Sure.
And then it's like, no, he's coming back. And then it's like, oh, okay, well, he's just on the practice squad. And you're like, oh, so he's like an emergency. It's like, nah, we're going to start him over Riley Leonard. And then he gets in, and it's really like a battle between, a guy who knows, obviously like super experienced versus like his body that's just is like not at an NFL level, obviously. And every throw is just like a super mega challenge. And he played like okay. He played pretty decently, and it was super, super entertaining to watch. It did generate a whole lot of like, remember the good old days when quarterbacks actually knew how to make calls at the line like crap? I saw something today about Trent Dilfer's stat line from when he like won the Super Bowl with the Ravens. Maybe I misread it. I think he had like 1,500 passing yards or something in 2000. And I know he had a season, his second year, he had 4 touchdowns and 18 interceptions. It's like, dude, I really, really think that quarterback play is certainly no worse off than it used to be in the 2000s. And you should go look at it's box score watching a little bit. You should go look at some of the stat lines that they were putting up in those games.
Dude, they were bad. Like
the third stringers were not nice with it in 2005. I absolutely promise you. But we've talked about that before.
Yeah.
I just think the Rivers stuff was way too cool not to have it on here. It is.
It was cool, and maybe I should have included it. I guess my thought was, it is sort of an ambiguous moment as far as like where it lies on the spectrum of moments. But I guess it would just be like the fact that like he took a snap was just like insane in its own right.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I also just feel like to me that felt like a death sentence once he stepped out onto the field. So that's another reason I didn't really like it, because I'm like, he wasn't really giving them a better chance to win games, I felt like.
It honestly does not matter at all.
I guess that's fair. It's just like the fact that he's like ancient and he was a
It is funny that Riley Leonard came out against the Texans and like looked like he probably would have been a better option the whole time.
Honestly, makes it even better. Truly it does, where it's like they didn't need to do that at all, but they really wanted to, and the Colts were screwed anyway, so why not? It's awesome. You will talk about that far longer than you talk about Commanders versus Washington or Washington versus Denver from this year. I promise.
You're right.
And it's going to give me strength.
That up as like a trivia game in a decade, and we're going to be like, oh, that's right, Phillip Rivers game. Yeah.
It'll be too easy because it'll be too memorable. Philip Rivers coming back will genuinely get me through some tough moments. Like when he said, I just hope all my kids watching me, all my players watching me thought dadgummit coach isn't scared after he completed that game. And when I'm going through tough times, I'm going to think coach wasn't
Philip
scared.
Rivers wasn't scared. I'm about to take off on the roller coaster. Philip Rivers wasn't scared.
Philip Rivers wasn't scared. I'm about to have a kid. Philip Rivers wasn't scared. My parents are on their deathbed. Coach wasn't scared.
Philip Rivers isn't scared of this apparently at all. So
I think definitely that one is definitely taught me the best lesson of the year. That's definitely the lesson of the year. Coach wasn't scared. Blaiden, what did you have at number 9?
At number 9, I had Jordan Davis blocking a field goal against the Rams and taking it to the house. You know, here's the beautiful thing about this play. It's so full circle from like his scouting report of like people being concerned about his conditioning, people being concerned about his ability to stay on the field. And then he like takes it the full field and like outruns everybody. I'm like, yeah, dude, that's sick. Yeah, dude, that's sick. And to win the game, it loses points for the fact that they didn't need the touchdown to win the game.
They didn't need to return it at all. It totally doesn't matter, but it is sick that they blocked it for the win. And what was like a pretty major game going into it. Yeah, I agree. For the record, that is my 11 if we're not counting the Parsons trade. So I think that's I think it's a great pick. I agree.
That's my number 8. It's a little bit even higher because it was a huge game. It was the Eagles were the number 1 seed at the time, right? Undefeated, defending champions, and the Rams have them on the ropes. And then the kick gets blocked and returned, and it's Jordan Davis, the biggest guy in the league. And it wasn't even the first. It wasn't even the first blocked kick.
And what I like about that, I guess you couldn't have known this for sure in the moment, but now looking back, actually, it really told us something about the Rams that would continue to be an issue. And you could argue decided the Super Bowl in some ways that their special teams was going to hinder them for the rest of the year. And it totally did. So, I think that play has a little bit of everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, they had a 77% chance to win lining up to make that kick. It wasn't like an impossible kick. It was kind of a like, the Stafford marched him down. It's a pretty easy field goal. Here we go. Blocked, returned, and the return does give it a lot.
It does.
More. The return is why it's just so good.
That'll be on the list in a way that like just a missed kick that decides a game never will be. It's not the same.
Well, what about like double doink? Does that
double doink is different?
Okay.
A missed kick in week 3 never would be.
Yeah.
Yes. That's
for number 9. I've got the Christian Benford pick 6 versus Cincinnati.
Yes.
At number 9.
I have that a little bit higher. I have
my jaw was on the floor when that happened. Like maybe the Bengals, it doesn't really matter. They weren't playing for much, but they had just beaten the Ravens pretty resoundingly, and Burrow was back, and they had the Bills in a really good spot. Like they were chewing the clock. They were inside their own 40-yard line. Like they had them. They were going to win that game. And then a bunch of conversations were about to get opened, right? Like they win this shootout in the snow, very aesthetically pleasing game. They just beat Lamar. Now they're going to beat Allen, like in a bad division. Like, here we go, Bengals. And then Burrow just boops. They're trying to control the clock even. Like, there's no way you should be throwing a pick 6 in this situation. Burrow just tries to boop that thing over to Chase because Benford blitzes, and the ball just like kind of slips coming out of his hand, and Benford leaves his feet to pick it off at its apex and takes that thing back. Like, yeah, my jaw was on the floor. That thing was crazy.
Over Joe Burrow to take it back. And like, I had not only that play, but like there's like a sequence of 3 plays that kind of happen back to back to back there. You have Josh Allen's like 40-yard touchdown run. Then you have this pick 6, and then you have another interception that happens right after that. Like, truly just an unbelievable collapse from Cincinnati in that moment.
Yeah, I didn't have that one, but I think it's a really worthy inclusion, especially considering at the time, like, I agree, we didn't know that Cincinnati was just like totally out for the count. If they had won that one, you would have been like, all right, there's life here. Now, ultimately, of course, their defense is just so bad, like it wouldn't have made that much a difference. And even if they had found their way in the playoffs, like it was going to catch up with them and whatnot, even in the weirdo AFC. But at the time, like, yeah, that was a crazy little stretch where they just completely blew that game.
Yeah, dude. It was.
Yeah, their win percentage went from, or Buffalo's did, it went from 19% to 75% in that moment, which is just a huge spike. 19%. Yeah, it was dire and just such a fluky play for Burrow to just let that one go weird, not down the field, not testing a tight window. It wasn't the Drake May meatball in the Super Bowl where he's got to push it down the field and it gets picked. Like, man, you're in control of that game, and it just flipped then and there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Crazy moment. Matt, what did you have at number 8?
I had Trevor Lawrence's slip and score against Kansas City.
I forgot about that.
I think this one's got to be on here, man. It was a crazy play.
So that is crazy.
Because it's on, I think, first or second and goal, but there's 30 seconds left with no timeouts. He just straight up falls down. If they're able to get him there, I mean, the Jaguars are in a pretty bad spot. They definitely can get up and get another snap off or whatever, but they're going to have, they're going to be on their heels at the bare minimum, if not like it really decides the game. And I think in a lot of situations, a quarterback here just is either like going to try to pop up and just throw the ball away out of the back of the end zone, maybe, or they're honestly like a lot of times going to stay down and just be like, I don't want to try to get up and then like bumble the ball away or whatever, which like for a second, like he slips and falls down again, but instead he gets up and there's a whole drama with Chris Jones. It's also told us a lot, like, the Jaguars were looking decent going into that game, and Kansas City, it's like, all right, when are they going to start to like course correct here? And the truth is the Jaguars ended up being a very good team for the rest of the year. And Kansas City, like, I think it showed us they didn't have the same magic that they had the year prior, where it's like, well, I guess this team is just going to win every one-score game. And what's the reasoning? Is Mahomes just that special? Is their success rate just like, I mean, like, obviously, like a lot of that is true or whatever, but this team is just not like that. They just don't have that special sauce. So I had this one up here at 8.
Yeah, this is a blunder by me. I should have had this one on my list. This is a crazy moment. Yeah, Theo, what were you gonna say about it?
It's one of those moments that the calculator can't quite fully tell you, like, just how crazy it was, because it was an and goal situation, right? Not much time left in the game. The Jaguars were in a pretty good spot going into that play, and if Trevor Lawrence just runs it in, normally it's not nearly as big of a play over the course of the season as the pick six, the 100-yard pick six that Devin Lloyd had in that game, where it was 14-14. Mahomes is thrown into the end zone, and then it's touchdown Jaguars, right? It's not that big. But what the numbers can't tell you is what the win percentage was when Trevor Lawrence was on the ground. And when he's slipping and sliding around and stands up and runs it in, because that's just a huge up and down, and that's when the kind of human side of it comes into play. And I have a play like that coming up here.
Yeah, so I think that one had to be included, and it was a great game around it, and it was prime time. I think those things really help. When it's nicer when everybody's kind of involved watching the game. It doesn't really like make everything, of course, but it matters a little bit to me.
For my number 8, I'm going to bring things back to special teams here. Rashid Shaheed's opening kickoff against the 49ers. And the reason I say this
I disagree.
The reason I say this one, I wasn't going to, but I was thinking about a lot of my interviews with the with the Seahawks players. I asked them, what was your favorite moment or play from the season, either your own or a teammate's? And a lot of them said that play. Just so, to me, the fact that was such a meaningful play for them, on top of it being like how big of an impact Shaheed had on their special teams, since he got traded there is why I chose that play. I think
it's a little too high. It was a cool play, of course, but ultimately, like, it didn't matter basically at all.
Right.
They were going to stomp them.
It didn't matter. It didn't matter, but to the team, it did. They thought it was the coolest play. So
as far as hype and aura moments go, I do think that that's definitely the most fun play of the Seahawks run, where we return this kick. It's going to be easy. This game against the 49ers that we're all stressed out about, it's going to be easy. Like, we're going to win this game. We got home field advantage. We're the 1 seed. Like, we're good. Like, we're going to go to the Super Bowl. Like, maybe you could have thought it right then and there if you're a Seahawks fan. Now, they still have the Rams to get through, and the Rams are kind of where my head went more than the Seahawks game for the reasons Matt is talking about. But there is, I mean, the crowd pop and the cinematography of that whole thing, I can understand.
Yeah.
I can understand it. I can definitely understand it.
Yes. Because there is a feeling going into that Niners game where it's like, if the Seahawks are frauds, we're gonna find out. Like, we found out with the Eagles, if this team really has any flaws, Shanahan's gonna make it known, right? And it just didn't happen. It just didn't happen. Like, immediately, the opening kickoff, we knew what type of game it was.
I don't know if I agree with that. That we knew they weren't frauds because the opening kickoff went
saying
back.
We knew a type of game. We were like, once the opening kickoff went well, we're like, okay, this is the type of game that it could end up being. And I think the
Seahawks were like considered pretty heavy favorites against the 49ers going into thing. But I don't think, like, if you thought, well, the 49ers can give them trouble for X, Y, and Z, the opening kickoff said, no, this game is over. I mean, immediately your mind goes back to, like, Devin Hester. Opening kickoff returned, touchdown against the Colts. Oh, are the Bears going to? Nope. Like, not really.
Yeah.
I don't got it for him. So I don't know if I agree that, like, it had some, like, secretive second level 4D chess impact where, like, we were all going and questioning Seattle and that relieved everything. But I can see, like, the hype and the aura moment.
There's a lot of aura. There's a lot of aura for sure.
It was their best hype and aura moment. I don't think it was their most impactful. It's not the Seahawks moment I chose, but it was their best hype and aura moment. I mean, from a there's the muffs. There's Shaheed's other punt return against the Rams in the comeback that I think is probably the Shaheed punt or return that I would pick. But again, like, that one just didn't get the place rocking like that first one did. That was like a whole other deal to return the opening kick 100 yards. It's not that often you see 100-yard plays go from one end zone.
And, like, you had a bye,
so
you weren't even, you weren't even like playing in the wild card rounds. So that's your first playoff game. That's your first playoff snap as a team with this group. To house that kick, it's pure aura. Well, Matt hates special teams. This is confirmed. So before we get into number 7, bad guy, you are. You're evil. You're a villain. But before we get into our top 7 here, got to talk about why betting the winter games on FanDuel makes sense. From game lines to medal counts to finding your angle on the events you care about most, FanDuel gives you more ways to stay connected to the action. The winter games are on, and there's no better way to follow them than with a bet on FanDuel. Curling matches that start slow and somehow get tense fast, speed skating decided by inches, hockey games that feel different from the opening face-off, and so much more. FanDuel, play your game. Disclaimer, must be 21 plus and present in select states. For Kansas in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino, or 18 plus and present in DC, Kentucky, or Wyoming. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit FanDuel.com/RG. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut, or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts, or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York. You guys already know that I have that Bengals sequence at number 7. So, Matt, what do you have at number 7?
I have Myles Garrett breaking the sack record. I think that's got to be on here. Now,
too low.
I think it's kind of tough to put super high because ultimately, like, it is an entire season on some level. You know what I'm saying? Like it's basically a year-long performance, which I felt like was a little cheating and I wanted to discount, but it actually got pretty dramatic towards the end. I mean, obviously, like, nobody was really playing for anything in that game outside of Myles Garrett going for the sack record. And it's like, oh, dude, there is no way he's going to go into, like, I think his final 2 games needing 1 and not going to get it. He's going to whiff. And it came down to the 4th quarter, like possibly the last drive that the Bengals had. And the sack itself, I mean, we talked about it not that long ago. The get off was crazy. A guy moving like that just reminds you, like, man, this is why Garrett's going to hold the thing. And people accuse Burrow of maybe like going down a little easy there. I would go down easy if Garrett was after me too. I don't think he was just giving himself up. So I think it's absolutely one of the 10 best moments of the season. And if you wanted to say the sack record's really important, I got it at like 4 or something, I would totally get that.
Yeah, I think this is way too low.
Do you have it at 1, Blaiden?
It is the best moment of the season for me.
It's not the best moment.
Well, first of all,
if you ask an 11-year-old Seahawks fan the top 10 moments of the year, it might look very different than the rest.
It might look very different. You have to remember, I'm a Browns fan, so this moment is the one thing that I actually got that was like cool this year. Garrett's get off, 0.117 seconds from the snap to when he moved. Like literally track sprinter stance as far as like how quickly he got off. Obviously 23 sacks on the season. It is like a season accomplishment. But also, I do think like the last 2 games, Garrett won those by himself. Like the Steelers being so quick to get the ball out, being so like, we are not letting Garrett sack us. And it almost costing them the playoffs. And then they end up winning the Bengals game kind of the same way. I think that all kind of plays into that, to Garrett getting that final sack.
I have it at number 3, so I'm kind of with you, Blade, in that Matt's got this too low. First of all, Matt, I'd say that every accomplishment is an all-year thing. All right? The Seahawks need a lot of things to go right to win the Super Bowl. Sure. You know, whatever you have that's like a big play, something else needed to happen for them to even get to that point. A 1-yard run could be a 2-yard run, and the entire season might go differently because
butterfly effect.
Because of the butterfly effect. Because on 2nd and 8 instead of 2nd and 9, your play call is different. And then if you want to get that yard back and you call something that you wouldn't have otherwise, then you've put that on tape and you can't call it later. And who knows what would have happened. The sequence, like. Everything is important. So I think that because everything's important and we don't think about it that way, the big moments are just the things that happen at the end. The Garrett sack is the biggest deal. And hearing that he broke that, because I wasn't watching the Browns-Bengals game, I felt a little bit like George Bush in Sarasota.
We were watching.
I wasn't watching. But then it comes up. Garrett has just broken the sack record, sir. And then you're sitting there like,
they like stopped the game basically to let Garrett celebrate.
And it is. They do always
do that for records like that.
Well,
but you don't see it every year. Not every year does a record get broken like that one does. It is very few and far between. I saw it happen once with Favre when he broke the all-time passing yards leader record. And that was a crazy moment and definitely the top for the Packers that year. I don't know what else happened, but I'm sure that was the top. And it really was such an insane highlight for him. When they play the highlight reel when Garrett retires, that'll be the number 1 play because it does kind of go to show who he is, just big and fast and unblockable for those reasons. And Burrow definitely didn't take a dive because he tried to step up and avoid it, but there was a stunt that was about to crush him, and he got turf toe trying to dance around in that situation earlier in the year. So like, I think he wasn't going to try to overextend himself in a doomed situation, goes down. It was a very ethical win by Garrett.
All right. Yeah, I probably had it too low then. but I strongly disagree that like the Steelers sold the game against the Browns just to try to screw over Garrett or any
Yeah, I
I
do.
don't think they were
any
not trying to
nonsense
screw over,
nonsense
not trying to
like that.
screw over Garrett and like a maniacal like you're, but like they were so conscious of Garrett's presence that they weren't playing ethical ball, and that cost them.
What was unethical about it though?
What was unethical about they're not
letting him wreck the game, bro.
They're not letting him get the sack because they're just trying to make sure he doesn't
say
get
what you want about the Patriots this postseason. They were playing ethically when they dropped back.
Drake made one of those ethical performances we've seen from a quarterback.
Taking like 14 sacks in the playoffs, man.
Josh McDaniels got away from the run and to play ethical ball against.
If you don't want your quarterback to take sacks, don't pick up a 41-year-old Aaron Rodgers, man. Like have a guy back there who's willing to stand in.
Yeah, pick up Mahomes.
They should have a quarterback who is more willing to get sacked by Myles Garrett. I absolutely agree, so that he can get the record.
Willing to get sacked. I'm saying he has to be willing to take a hit. He had the highest
hit and also keep the ball. And so he could get his number. And it's unethical to do otherwise.
It was like the lowest time to throw the entire season in that game.
And the other 16 lowest times were the other Steelers games.
We're also but like it was even lower than those games. So like
look, I agree. It's a good point about
Everything
how every moment. I do think it's dinged a little from like people were not watching it like as intently in the moment because it was a nothing game.
And that's why it's my number one because I don't think it's the number one moment of the season.
Yeah, it doesn't quite rise to number one for me.
There are plays that I just think are like more important than Garrett breaking the sack record that decided more.
I feel you.
Sure.
What are we at? 7?
7. You're 7, Theo.
My 7 is the Stidham fumble.
Ooh, I don't think that's a bad choice because
Interesting.
I don't think it's a bad choice because it did end up getting the Patriots to the Super Bowl like relatively single-handedly, but I did not have it here. I don't know. It's a huge play, but I think that it's like very heavily carried off of like probably just the win probability shift as much as the play itself.
Yeah, I can see this one being lower. I might want to switch the Caleb post, and this one is kind of what I had in mind when I was talking about it. But I mean, to go to the conference, they're in the conference championship game. They've got the lead. We've seen that the Patriots were not going to cook. All right, that was just not happening. But they win the game because of this, this meatball, right? This turnover within their own 10-yard line that happens. And you can ding it because it's Stidham. And like, what did you expect from Stidham? You kind of expected this going into this as a backup. Wow, he has a crucial turnover. The season was over when Bo got hurt, right? That's the top moment, not this. Everything after that was just, doomed from the start. But I don't really think so. I think they could have won that game. I think they could have been in the Super Bowl, and I think that they weren't because Stidham just decided this craziness. It's ding to me because I just didn't like the production value on that play. Like the ref blew the whistle, and then there wasn't really a great replay. Like it wasn't a very cinematic moment, but it was extremely, extremely impactful on this year's Super Bowl. So I went with it somewhat high.
It was impactful. I wouldn't have included it probably mostly because I feel like it is carried a lot by the fact that Bo got hurt. Like if it's Nix in that moment, he probably doesn't do that, right?
It also doesn't help that if it doesn't happen and the Broncos win, then we're probably just set up for a really terrible Super Bowl with Stidham or whatever.
Sure. They were doomed. The AFC was doomed from the beginning of the playoffs.
Yeah, I think it was like the Broncos were doomed from the Bo Nix injury. Yeah. I mean, I think the Seahawks probably would have won against a healthy Broncos team too. If
Yes,
I'm being honest,
I agree.
But like
they would have had. You wouldn't have been able to be like, yeah, this thing's like a no brainer. The same way you would have if like the Stidham Broncos get it, and you're like, all right, well, we just watched, them barely hang on against a good Patriots team, but this defense is different.
Yeah, I think I would ding it and knock it down a few spots, having talked it through here. But
it's a huge
what can
play.
you do? It is a huge play. It is. I'm not that upset. I'm not kicking myself too much. But Blaiden, did you say number 7 already?
My number 7 was the Bengals one. That you brought up.
Sure. Yes, that's right.
Yeah. So that brings us to number 6 then. And I'm gonna bring up another Browns moment.
What could the other Browns? Shador draft slide?
Oh God, no! Theo, you know this one.
Don't tell me it's Shelby Harris blocking the field goal.
It's Browns versus Packers. The Packers are up 10-3 with a little over 3 minutes to go in the game. Jordan Love.
Don't tell me this is a Jordan Love interception.
Jordan Love throws a horrific interception, which is returned to the 2-yard line. Defensive pass interference moves the Browns to the 1. They run it into the end zone.
Who cares? Who cares?
This is an insane selection. At 6.
Hold on. Kraft screen moves them further back, and it's looking good. Moves them further down the line, looking good for Green Bay to win this with a field goal. Packers run it like 4 times in a row, line up for a field goal that gets blocked, and then rookie Andre Schmidt nails it from 55 yards to give the Browns their first win of the year. When this was considered to be
horrible selection, completely undefendable.
This was considered to be a Green Bay team that could go to win the Super Bowl with Micah Parsons after that trade.
And they were after. They were still considered after the Browns.
And they got beat by the Browns. Man.
Horrible,
so did 4 other teams.
Selection, man.
So did 4 other teams. Like the Browns were bad this year, but like good teams get beat by bad teams every year. Like,
yeah,
dang near every week.
Yeah. I mean, this same shit happened to the Packers against the Panthers. Like,
it was a good game, right? The Panthers had a moment like a game identical to that.
Yeah, but
Panthers did the same.
I'm not a Panthers fan though, dude.
Okay,
sure,
I guess, but you don't have the 5 Browns wins as your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Why is this not number 10 at least? Like, why if you're putting this in your list of like I really enjoyed that, like, why is it above like Jordan Davis returning the kick for a touchdown?
Because this is more important to me.
Okay, but what is it below? Like, is it not number 2 for you? Like,
it's not.
Like,
no,
why
it's not
here?
number 2. I just where I thought it fit in. I don't know. I kind of just go through the list in my head, and I'm like, yeah, this is better than this, but we'll get into like it's not as good as Iceman. So
that's more important to you than like the Browns win that Caleb Williams throw.
Than that Browns win. But more than that Browns 3-minute second.
Is there another Browns moment on here outside of the Garrett play?
These are the only 2 Browns moments on the list. Do you think I should have gone?
There's not many. Well, there's not many more to pick like that you could possibly pick.
I'm assuming there's no more.
Yes. So I decided to give myself a bone, man. Now look,
you gave yourself a bone putting Garrett at number 1.
Yeah,
this is the double.
I did do that, but putting this in. The thing that this bumped off was Cam Ward's interception that turned.
Cam Ward is also not touching this list, bro.
Cam Ward interception that turned into a fumble, and then it got bumped around, and the Titans picked it up in the end zone. And
that was against the Arizona Cardinals, bro.
Yes, it was. It was the most nothing game of the season.
That was like some mumbo jumbo.
But it was
between 2 of the worst teams.
But it was
that was a scritchy one against the worst. That was a scritchy play against the worst 2 teams in the league.
See, the issue is that you're a Browns fan so long, you think that's just how football is. These are the type of games that there are to watch, and it's like, no, there's. I mean, I didn't put in a Panthers moment, and I feel like there was a couple of moments that if we went to maybe 25, I could, like when they beat the Rams that first time, they hit some big game like plays in that game. But there isn't any
I fully expected you to put that game in here, man. The throw to Tet, man.
I don't think it's one of the 10 best moments of the season. I just don't.
Okay.
The throw to Ted isn't. What about the throw to Parkinson to win the wild card game? Like that was a playoff game-winning drive. Like that's a bigger moment than the Browns winning a game that against a Packers team that was a wild card exit.
Yeah, but at the time they weren't supposed to be a wild card exit.
I don't know. I think plenty of people could have told you that they were like.
Plenty of people would have told me that, but you would have said, Theo, you would have said, no, this team is still.
Sure. I would have said, I said maybe when it happened, it was a top 10 moment of the season, and then the rest of the season played out. The Packers, Dak Prescott, that exact thing happened to the Packers, or a play of that level happened to the Packers versus Dak's rollout and throw to the sideline to
I thought
Flournoy.
about that play too.
That one I would put above it. I mean, multiple Caleb plays I would put above it.
If Mike Jackson had caught that Jordan Love tomato and then started showboating from our own 20 the rest of the 80 yards for a pick six, that would have been number one for me. I'll give you that. But outside of that, I don't think any Panthers like single moment was quite like top 10 level.
John Robinson probably had multiple moments that good for a Falcons team that didn't do much. Like every team in the league hit like a moment like that outside of maybe the Jets, but even the Jets probably when they won like could say like that was a top 10 moment of the year. So
well, if you're a Jets fan, if you're Gary V, maybe that is a top 10 moment for you.
You went off the side of the backboard with that one. I can't lie.
All right, man.
I was in horror. I thought for sure, like, oh, Shadur's slide. Like, yeah, I guess the president got involved.
I think that's total bogus. If you're saying
it's bigger than the slide,
I think it would have been. It's not top 10, but if you were making a top 50 list and you were including like stuff like that, I could be like, yeah, Shadur's slide was like
it ranks higher than Jordan Love's interception. It does. But yeah, my number six is the McMillan pick against the Bills.
I have that at number 2.
Number 2?
Yeah.
I think it's a bit high. When I first was making the list, I thought about it that high because it's the closest thing the season has to the helmet catch. Right?
Sure.
But I did look at the calculators and I did end up deciding that it may be a little bit overrated to put it at 2. It's definitely on here because of just, again, kind of like the Trevor Lawrence slip. The calculators can't talk about what you feel like when they're both on the ground and it looks like Cooks has it and all of a sudden he doesn't. But at the same time, it was a 3rd down and 10 kind of underthrown arm punt type play that functioned a little bit like a punt at the end of it. So was maybe the Cook fumble may have been more impactful in that game. But kind of the bizarre oddity that was the double catch and come away with it, to me makes it really memorable and definitely worth putting on the list at 6. And two, I do see that was my first instinct to put it really, really high.
I disagree with a few things there. I think that what really separates that, first off, you have to take into account first off, you got to start trusting your heart over the calculator.
No, 100%.
You're allowing the spreadsheets to infect you.
Sure.
Obviously, like the story going into the playoffs, at least from the AFC, is like this is the Bills' season. This is their time. And I didn't necessarily 100% agree with that, but it is at a point like, the Patriots were having their issues and like Buffalo's got a really good chance to go to the Super Bowl if they get this and finally get over that hump. And it's been a super weirdo game against the Broncos the whole time. And while like maybe the swing on like win probability wasn't that high from before the play to after, I'm sorry, like the swing on win probability was like, that is what lost them. And it wasn't an arm punt. Arm punt?
True. That's a poor way to describe it.
I think that arm punt is kind of an overused term. And arm punt is like a throwing it up into double coverage on 3rd and long because whatever, and we might as well take the 50-50 ball. It's not every deep interception, which I think people talk about it with. And what really makes it is that Cooks had the ball.
Yes.
He had it. And if he completes that catch, the Bills probably win. Like they probably go to the championship game. And I don't know, are they going to be like favored against the Patriots? It's going to be pretty dang near even. They might be favored to go to the Super Bowl if he catches that thing. But going to the ground that gets ripped away and the Broncos storm out of there, like how many ways can the Bills have their hearts broken? To me, like I think there's one play I really considered over. I would say the Garrett, you could talk about the history. I'd say the Parsons trade, you could talk about like the landscape change. There's one other play where I'm like, I might put it over there because it's like impact is so crazy. I think it was like closest to deciding the Super Bowl. And there's one play where it's just like the play itself was so nuts. So I can see 5, but personally I had that at 2. I think it was really, really high when you factor in everything.
I'm going to keep my mouth shut.
You don't even have it on your list because you have to make room for 8 bounce moments. It is insane. Leaving it off entirely is crazy.
Leaving it off
5,
entirely.
I guess I can get, but
do you have any plays from this game? Because that was kind of what dinged it
if
in
you
my
have
mind.
the Allen fumble, okay. Or if you have the Cooks fumble, okay.
Yes.
The Cooks fumble, maybe.
This is my problem. There's my justification for not having any of those plays is that there's too many of them. The Bills didn't lose this game on one play. And the thing that kept everything off of it for me was like, honestly, the constant bitching from Bills fans that like they deserve
that should
better.
Boost it, honestly.
No,
because it created such a firestorm.
It's weak. Like, just play better and you win the game. Like Josh Allen underthrew that ball and it got picked off because Cooks didn't have strong enough hands to secure it to the ground. Like, and look, people were like, I could never even believe that it was even close of a call. Like, I thought it was an interception immediately. So, like, to me, it was not really that, like, controversial.
But there's a moment as they're going to the ground when you thought maybe Cooks had it, right? Like,
yes, no.
Like, initially, it like, falls in his hand, and you're like, oh, wow, what a catch. And then, like, immediately, the DB comes away with it, and you're like, oh, it's a pick.
But when you watched it, that was crazy, right? Like, yes. I agree. Like, in the whole aftermath, I think it's crazy that there was debate about it. But in that moment, you're like, oh,
but that
Cooks got it. And then you're like, wait, no, McMillan has it. And then there's all this.
It's just like the whole game, right? Like, it's not just that play. And if, I don't know, I tried to go against the full game thing, but like, it was a combination of that and like, I just thought it was like not the singular force that cost the Bills a trip to the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
like,
I dinged it for being just a bit of an oddity of like it bounced off Cook's face mask and then into his hands. If it bounced off his face mask and somewhere else, then it's like, oh, it's just a 3rd and 10 that didn't convert. There's a punt. They probably get in the same place anyway.
You have to take into account what did happen. It's the same thing as the Allen fumble. A fumble is not that crazy that leads to 3 points, but when you take into account the fact that he like senselessly like toss it back and then they lose by 3, it's crazy.
But put yourself in Allen's shoes. Like that's kind of what I was doing is like put yourself in Allen's shoes. You're like, yeah, that play was kind of an oddity, but like, damn, my fumble before halftime, like that was a blunder. Or Cook is like, damn, that was a blunder. Or Trey White with the pass interference at the end, like that was a blunder. Like those plays are like, maybe more impactful.
No, the McMillan interception. You guys are totally underselling this play. This is insane. They had the game in their hands and it got ripped away from them, literally.
Yeah, it did. It did.
And also, we did not know that it actually was an interception until slow-mo replay.
I mean, you may not have known it was an interception. It was clearly an interception.
You had to see it in slow-mo for sure.
I mean, they called it an interception on the field. Like he's like, oh, interception McMillan. And then I was like, oh my God, they intercepted it.
We're okay. If you guys want to say like, I closed my eyes and I knew it was an interception, fair enough. It was an interception, but I think everybody is like being a little too, it was so obvious what happened in the moment because of the whole internet drama. Like, it was an incredibly tense play. I definitely was like, wait, I got to see that again. And if you guys weren't, you got better eyes than me.
No, I definitely had to see it. I definitely had to see it again. But I did believe that he ripped it away when I was like, oh.
And look, I was watching with my friends, and like when it happened, they started yawning and saying, they said, typical arm punt, I don't care. And I said, that's probably how I should be. I understand. But no, I had it too. I thought it was pretty cool.
No, it was a very good play. Maybe my initial.
I think 5 is low, but not crazy.
Having it off the list is
I think not having it at all. So you can
no
put a
play
series
from
of
this game at all. No play from this game at all, because again, there's just a lot of plays from it where I was debating.
Even without the Browns plays, it wasn't going to make the list.
Man, I think that's nuts.
Dude,
they
they turned the ball over 5 times. They got lucky that they were that close to win.
What difference does that make about the impact of this play?
I'm just saying, like, one play, they weren't like they were one play away, but they were one play away 4 turnovers ago. You could say that, but you could say that about any damn game. That, like, well, what you're not taking into account is the fact that if they had made a play earlier in the game, this wouldn't have even mattered. It's like, sure, but they did. It was a close game. It's all every football game is a couple of plays away from the ending being boring. Yeah,
except for Browns games, of course.
Maybe that's true. Browns games are always interesting. There's always something to see. You can watch Carson Wessing.
There's always 11 Browns on the field at minimum.
Anywho, Theo, what did you have? Was this your?
This was my number 6. That's how it came up. It was my number 6.
Matt, what was your number 6?
I had the Bills week 1 comeback against the Ravens.
Oh,
I didn't think enough about that. I didn't think enough about that.
I had this game at 4.
I think that's fair. I can see it. I like 4. It was crazy. It's obviously dinged a little bit from, I guess, like not having insane impact, but like it did. I guess it was part of the reason why the Ravens didn't make the playoffs, you could say.
Yeah, no, 100%. It's like the Garrett thing. All these losses matter.
The opening to the season, the heavyweight battle, and the Ravens were up 15 with 4:13 left to go, 4th and 2, and they lost. And it took like a Henry fumble. It took them not trusting Lamar. It took the Shakir TD was just unbelievable. There was the tipped touchdown to Coleman. Like, it was both an insane comeback between 2 heavyweights, but then like the plays themselves individually were also just like, oh my God, what's going on? And go back and watch the drive. Like, Allen was on fire.
Yeah.
And honestly, like, did this say something about like how Harbaugh coaches the team and some of the issues, like him holding back Lamar and whatnot? And now we're like looking like, yeah, that's kind of how the season ended up for them. And that's not, of course they would have made it if Lamar had been healthy, most likely, but it really, really made you doubt his decision-making right there. And,
yeah.
I mean, looking back on this game, I think it paints a big picture for sort of the whole season. I really think this game starts, or not this game starts, but like this moment starts at the end of the 3rd quarter with Lamar Jackson throwing a pass up the sideline to DeAndre Hopkins, snags it one-handed, and then the Bills come right out and they score, they answer back, and then Derrick Henry runs up the left sideline for like 40 yards and a touchdown. And you're kind of like, is that the dagger or are the Bills still in this? Because the Bills punt and then the Ravens punt and then the Bills really start to cut. Like, you're right, Matt. Like, it was 40 to 25 and you thought it was over. Like, and the Ravens had a chance to make it over. And then they just couldn't. Like, the Derrick Henry fumble is when he was like notoriously good at holding onto the ball last year and notorious throughout his whole career of like not fumbling. to fumble in that moment and then to have fumble problems the rest of the season. Just again, I think this game is kind of a microcosm for the Ravens and a little bit for the Bills as well, because the Bills won this one and they ended up making the playoffs, and you know, they had a better season than Baltimore, but like it really did kind of signify how this season was going to go for both teams.
Yeah, and I think about Prater's game-winning kick, and it's Matt Prater, right? They brought him in,
yes.
40 whatever years old, off the streets, and it wasn't a very long field goal, but you just got to think, like, this total unknown kicker, are they going to complete the comeback? And they do. The tipped catch on, I think, a fourth down, right? Like to convert it and score. It was a crazy game. I should have thought more about this one for sure.
Yeah, and you know, they had a 15-point lead with 4 minutes to go, and they lost in regulation.
Yeah,
they lost in regulation because the Bills, and it wasn't like the Bills are like, we want the win in regular. It was like they didn't get a 2 and they got another possession and won it. So it was pretty bad.
In the fourth quarter, the Ravens had a combined 12 plays. Just like can't have that, dude.
When Henry fumbled, Buffalo had a 4% chance to win the game, and they won the game in regulation. It is crazy.
Yeah, just absolutely unbelievable. Before we get into our top fives here, got to, of course, talk about our good friends over at Cash App. You know, we love Cash App, paying people back after trips. We just went on a trip to San Francisco, splitting food, sending money to the group chat commissioner. You know, always if someone forgets the dues reminder, it just makes life so much easier. You know, and the Cash App card is really, really fun. Most debit cards are boring. They look like you found them on the floor of a rental car. If I could design mine perfectly, you know, I'd put Myles Garrett on it. You know, maybe again, a little Photoshop.
Maybe you'd put Grant Delpit picking off.
I'll put Grant Delpit.
One Brown on there.
Love. You know, only one Brown. No, I'm putting Myles Garrett, Carson Schwessinger, Grant Delpit, kind of all like linking arms across the card. You know, and they're all such big guys, you can't really fit any more than that, of course. Of course. Now I need to hit this next part exactly, so make sure you guys are listening up. Cash App just released a new status program for the way people actually spend called Cash App Green. It unlocks new ways for you to pay, get rewarded, and easily grow or manage your money on your terms. Now, when you spend at least $500 a month with a Cash App card or Cash App Pay, you earn green status, which unlocks benefits like up to $200 of free overdraft coverage, higher borrow limits, and custom personalized cashback offers every Friday at places that you love to shop. Turn everyday spending into status with Cash App Green. Download Cash App today or visit cash.app/new to learn about this and other great features launching now. For a limited time, new Cash App customers can earn $10 if they use the code CASHAPP10 in their profile at sign up and send $5 to a friend within 14 days. Terms apply. Cash App is a financial services platform, not a bank. Banking services provided by Cash App's bank partners. Prepaid debit cards issued by Sutton Bank, member FDIC. Cash App Green overdraft coverage borrow. Cash back offers and promotions provided by Cash App, a Block Incorporated brand. Visit cash.app/legal/podcast for full disclosures. At number 5, I had what I've been calling them. I call this one Iceman Part 2. That's the 4th and 8 against Green Bay. So this is where I had that moment. I don't know where you guys had that in comparison to the first Iceman moment against Green Bay.
Well, I was debating 10th. I was debating if that should be my
So
that's how this whole thing started.
Caleb Williams moment on your top 10?
No, I got one more.
Okay.
I could think of one more.
Yeah, I've got 3. So
yeah, I didn't have this one, but I do have another.
Okay.
Of course.
Yeah. I mean,
I do think that throw was like even more technically challenging than the post, which is crazy because the post he's like under pressure against tight coverage. But it is a post with no safety and the corner outside, and it's Nixon and his feet are set and all that. So it's like, all right, that's a great throw. but this 4th and 8 might be a throw that only Caleb Williams can make. You know, like just full sprint left, getting clipped from his ankles, kind of double coverage with someone trailing Odunze and then someone underneath him, and he puts it up the field. Like I if it wasn't for Manny's input, I may have put the 4th and 8 above it just because it happened in the playoffs, and I did think the throw was slightly crazier.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of the progression of the season, this one is certainly more important. But I agree. I think from the perspective of a Bears fan, that first throw in overtime to DJ Moore is as good of a moment as you will ever see. So
At my number 5, I have the Tyler Loop miss.
I didn't put this one on here.
I didn't put this one on.
But I get it, and I kind of wish I had. And I think my 5, I had the 2-point conversion fumble. I think this is too high. I think it's worthy of top 10 consideration, but I think the loop miss is a bigger moment. I agree, and I think I should have had Garrett higher.
The thing about the 2-point conversion is that it's, again, very much an oddity, very much crazy at how it happened, very much like this should have been incomplete. And then, wait, what's this? It's actually a tie game. Like
I'm pro oddity. I think oddity, when you look back over the history of the NFL, and you should be, when you look back over the history of the NFL, when you're a kid and you're looking and you're learning things about the NFL, what really strikes you is the oddities, the weird little things that can happen. That's what makes football so great, truly.
Yeah, no doubt.
There's so many strange things that can happen. Now, whether or not that or a kick that like cost a team a playoff spot is more important, open for debate, probably.
Right.
And
With
probably, I'll give you that one. But
with the 2-point conversion, it is. Go ahead, Matt. Go back.
I think it's a crazy one, and it mattered a lot. It wasn't just some 1-point safety in a nothing game. Although a 1-point safety in a nothing game, even then, would easily crack my
1-point safety would 1-point safety would probably be top 5 on my list. So
it'd be up there, bro.
It would
depend.
Insane. I don't think any 1-point safety in the NFL would definitely make the list.
No chance. No chance that anyone would do it. No. There was almost one this year where like Hamilton lateraled.
Oh my God. I forgot about that play.
But
that
if it happened,
awesome.
it wouldn't be a top 10 moment of the year. Like, even if it happened, it would not be a top 10 moment of the year.
But it's never happened before.
I don't care. It's not that interesting. Like, it's cool, but sometimes like scoregami and like these little nerd things that people get obsessed over, I think they're cool, but you can overrate them. Like, you can't put the 1-point safety at 1.
I think if a game ended 6-1 with a 1-point safety,
if a team ended with 1
okay,
point,
what if it ended 25 to 31 and it was Chiefs versus Cardinals in the middle of the year, and the Cardinals got the 1-point safety in a loss?
Yeah, I agree. I wouldn't care as much about that. If it's a team getting a 1-point safety in the sense that like that is their 1 point for the game, and it's a legendary scoregami moment, truthfully, I'm gonna have to side with the Twitter sickos and the calculators and the maybe the NFL games that you maybe hear a little bit too much about. I'd still be on their team, but
you'd be on Team John Boy when he makes a 40-minute video explaining the 1-point safety. I would not be on that team.
I would absolutely be on that team.
I'd be a little on that team, I won't lie.
Fair.
So that maybe I am more team oddity than I think I am, but
the 2-point conversion
it really mattered.
It's a more severe version of the McMillan play where it's like, man, that was weird. It's so strange that they did this, but it made the game 30-30. It didn't make them 31-30.
Right.
And then later, Hardy has a really short kick that he's trying when it's 30-30 to win the game, and he pushes it, and that might be just as big of a moment, if not a bigger moment than the 2-point. Like, it really didn't win them the game. The Shaheed return was probably a bigger moment in the comeback. Like, It was very strange, but again, like I don't want to overrate the strangeness of
Too
it.
much EPA,
Like,
too much EPA, and I agree, but too much EPA for me, bro.
You
Too much
agree, but
DVOA.
I'm not. I'm lying.
But I don't like to hear it. I don't. Okay.
He said, "Get your DVOA out of my."
It was really crazy. It was completely insane. I've never seen anything like that before, and it is strange that in the NFL. And I agree with you that it is what makes the NFL special is like just the scenarios like are crazy.
There's a lot of it's a scenario driven league.
It is.
It is.
It is. But the loop miss I moved me so much just because it was a crazy game before that, and the likely catch and Lamar's bomb. Like maybe it's the same thing where like the Lamar bomb to Flowers could have been bigger, but they ended up losing. So like why would I put that in there? So there's all these crazy things. It's a playoff environment. You know, the Ravens are looking to complete what everybody kind of deep down thought they'd complete all year, which is going from 1-5 to the playoffs, right? And they get on the doorstep and they miss. And it's the Steelers and it's Aaron Rodgers and it's Tomlin pounding his chest and hitting and it's the final game of the season, like literally Sunday night of week 18.
You drive home and you don't got to go back, man.
Yeah, you drive home and it's over. So the loop miss really was an all-time, like, man, what? Even more than the Bills game week 1, you're thinking what the season could have been if Loop just makes his kick, man. Like, what could we have done in the postseason in a field where the Patriots ended up winning it? Like with Lamar, we maybe could have beaten the Patriots, and it was so wide open.
But, I mean, that got Harbaugh fired.
It got Harbaugh fired, and again, everything matters equally. Like the Bills game at the beginning, was as much of a loss as this one in a scenario where one loss keeps them out, but this one I'm sure hit a little bit different to end the season.
Yeah. Yep. And Matt, you had the Seahawks
2-point conversion on the fumble or whatever. Hilarious play.
It was
totally awesome. Totally BS though. The spirit of that play was an incomplete pass, even though it went backwards.
The parallel rule being a fumble is a little bit bogus, I think. If it's parallel, they should probably give them the benefit of the doubt. If it's clearly backwards, I can see the fumble. Now, it did clearly go a couple inches backwards.
It went backwards.
So, like, I get it, but
then it bounces forward on his helmet, and then, like, the play is, like, I mean, it's blown dead, but then because it's in the end zone, because it's picked up, I mean, it'll be an all-time. They'll show that to people in 30 years. They're like, you got to pick up the ball no matter what.
Yeah.
Yeah. And those Rams games versus the Seahawks were the biggest games of the year, really.
It happened in a classic, you know? So, yeah, I don't know. I think probably more of a top 20 moment than a top 10 moment when you think
top
about
5.
it. But yeah,
for you. But
yeah.
At number 3, I had Garrett. So
was that 4? Was that 5?
No, that was 5 for me.
Oh,
that was 5. Yeah, so this is 4, Theo.
Do I have just 9 down? I have 4th and 8, Benford, Davis, Stidham, McMillan, Loop. Oh my gosh, I might have only written down.
You got 5 Browns wins to pick from, brother. Don't take your time.
Yeah, I guess I'll throw in Jordan Love's pick versus the Browns in here. Well, ignore me for now. Well, I think
Blaiden.
maybe I'll think of something here. So you move on.
I'll throw you some of my honorable mentions, Theo, and you can tell me which one you want.
Sure.
You can do the Cam Ward interception fumble.
Yeah, no,
touchdown.
I'm not.
You
Nothing with Cam Ward.
Little's 68-yard field goal.
Nothing with Cam Little. I'm not gonna lie to you. Shout out the record though.
You could do me interviewing the Emerald City route artist.
If we're doing the personal, did you have?
No,
okay.
I thought that was a
if you had that on your list,
I was like, if I can get to bring that up, I'll say it. But like, it's not actually.
I mean, that's in my personal top 10,
yes,
of course.
I'll give you. Okay, here's a one that I think could actually make your top 10. Devonta Smith laying flat,
No.
like back parallel to the ground.
No, because then
against the Cowboys?
Puka's catch versus the Panthers would have to be there. Like, yeah, again, it's a great play. I love that catch. But
It's just like the screenshot of it, like when they snap the picture, and he's literally like, he's
Well,
laying
but that's a
let me
game that
ask you-
the Cowboys
shot out
came
of a
back and
tube.
won. So I'd
Yeah,
probably
they
go
didn't
with
win
more
that.
with something from the Cowboys
I
game.
don't know what your I don't know what your top 3 is. That's part of the issue. And you said one of them's Garrett, one of them's. Do you have Seattle's goal line stand against the Rams up there?
That's what I have. But
you have it 3.
I have that.
Oh.
Yeah, I guess I could just say the things I was debating with Manny are 9 and 10.
There you go.
But
Yeah.
some of the honorable mentions I have are the May meatball in the Super Bowl. The pick to Jordan Love.
Honestly, I really like that, and I think that's top 30 range. I agree because, and people on Twitter I've seen talking about it disagree. The Patriots totally had a chance to come back in that game for a second. There is no way watching. People will lie and say otherwise. Watching that live, they had the ball, and like May screwed up that throw to Hooper, right? Or was that Henry? I honestly don't remember.
That was a screwed up Hooper target, but I also think that Hooper ran a absolutely dog shit route.
I saw your video. I saw your video about it, but it's like, okay, so that play got screwed up one way or the other.
Sure.
And you're like, that might have been the one. But then anyway, so they're like kind of driving, and you're like, they already had stopped Seattle. Seattle's offense was good, but not like a guarantee. And they kind of had like a lot of time. I mean, you're like, they got plenty of time. They can put together real drives. And then they really, really, really were alive when that first meatball happened. Absolutely.
They really were alive. I mean, they were technically alive when the Uchenna Nwosu pick 6 happened.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, we've seen crazy things happen all the time. Like, after 28-3, bro, like, I'm not in this is over mindset ever.
No.
Ever. So
certainly not in a 2-score game with the losing team with the ball at midfield with 9 minutes. That's not game over.
No, God, no. So that was an honorable mention for me. Lloyd's 100-yard pick 6 was an honorable mention for me. Looking through my flashcards here.
What about Kayshon Bouttie's one-handed catch in the rain against the Texans?
I didn't write it down, but it certainly was. It's better than some Browns plays.
It was a beastly play.
Is it though? Is it that?
I can say it. I can say it for this is where I put the Parsons trade.
Okay.
And I honestly do think it's one of the most important moments of the season.
It is. It could be number one. It could be number one, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, because what you have to understand, like, Parsons is truly one of the most valuable players in the NFL. And when you take into account his age, I mean, like, it may only be quarterbacks who are more valuable than him as a trade asset. So the fact that he got moved, like, out of nowhere almost is pretty crazy. I mean, like, it completely flips what you thought about Dallas, who put together did a lot of other things well, but like their defense was just so screwed up after this. They were like a complete non-threat. And it put the Packers in a whole new light where you're like, that's the piece that makes them defensively competitive enough to really be a threat. Now, obviously things didn't end up working out for the Packers, but if they get healthy, like, you think they're a humongous threat, I'm sure they'll be top, I don't know, whatever. And Super Bowl odds, I actually don't know if I want to put a number on that off the top of my head, but I wouldn't be surprised if they were top 5 or something. And it's just one of the most shocking trades in NFL history, and it had a huge impact on the season. I think it deserves a place on this list, unless we're limiting ourselves to only place, which is fair.
Yeah. No, I mean, if I had included it, it would have been number 1. So.
Yeah, I think I might agree, because it's done. It's over with now for all the other plays individually, but like that might go on another decade that trade matters.
Right.
Maybe. I mean, at least another 5 years. Hopefully he recovers from the ACL, but I'm sure.
It's done, man. It's over.
Yeah, I think it'll continue to be impactful. But yeah, I mean, that trade is absolutely ridiculous. I can't think of another trade like it in NFL history, and we've talked a lot about that. When it happened, is like, is this one of the best player to ever get moved? And The answer seriously might be yes. I mean, we did not win a game without him. And we played Max Brosmer, and we played the Bears, and we beat the Bears with him. And
Well,
yeah, it was a disaster. It was a disaster, but
yeah.
definitely an MVP type of player on the defensive side of the ball. It's crazy.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Before we get into our top three, because I had the Bills-Ravens sequence at number 4, did you guys see that Jamar Chase is officially Fabletics' first NFL ambassador? He just dropped his first collection, and it's exactly what you'd expect. Effortless tees, oversized hoodies, and all the comfy stuff you actually want to live in this time of year. I gotta jump on it as a Fabletics VIP. You get first dibs on the new gear, and yeah, dude, I promise it's gonna deliver. Because first of all, you get 80% off everything when you sign up, and you fully expect it to be one of those too good to be true deals, but I promise it's not. The quality is genuinely great. The pieces are those kind of high-end activewear you'd normally pay a couple $100 for, but you're getting the same premium fit and durability for a fraction of that price. And at that point, the VIP membership basically pays for itself. And the fit really is dialed in. No waistband sliding down, joggers that actually keep their shape, jackets that keep you warm without feeling bulky. Everything is soft, breathable, flexible, perfect for workouts, travel days, or there's New Year fresh start mornings when you just want to throw something on and feel put together. All right. It also helps knowing that Fabletics isn't just some online brand. They've got over 2 million VIP members with over 100 retail stores. So it really feels like a brand that people trust and stick with once they try it. Fabletics has already has some incredible deals, but we've got an exclusive offer just for you here at Stay Hot. Get 80% off everything, of course, when you sign up as a VIP. And yes, that includes Jamar Chase's first drop. Just head to fabletics.com/stayhot, take the style quiz, and make sure you select Stay Hot when prompted so that you can unlock your 80% off. Again, that's fabletics.com/stayhot. At number 3, I had Iceman versus the Rams running straight backwards and unleashing 51 yards in the air to the back of the end zone. The more I think about it, the more I think that might be the best throw I've ever seen. Like there are like the Anthony Richardson one is incredible. It like slips and then launches at 70 yards.
I think it's better than the Richardson one. I agree.
But like running straight backwards, I've never seen a quarterback do that and then like turn around and throw it and like it work. I've never seen that in my life.
I guess I'm a little surprised that this isn't your number 1. This is my number 1.
Really?
I think it's one of the I don't know if it's the best throw of all time, but I do think it's got a decent case for it, man, for sure. And it's not only a crazy like play, just looking at like what happened on the field. I mean, they had him dead to rights for the game to end Chicago's season. And I just feel like you get in this situation with teams so often where it's Hail Mary mode, and so rarely does it ever turn into anything. And he fires it down there and it's complete, and it keeps going. Like the game stays alive. I guess it's a little bit dinged for the fact that like they didn't end up winning.
Right.
It really sucks they didn't end up winning this game. Not that I have anything against the Rams, but just to like complete the moment. But I mean, backpedaling 30 yards or whatever, 20 yards, running straight backwards to turn around and fire that thing and get it complete to stay alive in the playoffs. It's not as impactful as a few other plays this season, but certainly it's the craziest. I just felt like that was Caleb Williams kind of bringing a lot of the college football stuff to the NFL when people asked if it could translate.
I do feel like that play was sort of his magnum opus, but at the same time, they didn't win. And so that is like not being able to complete the moment. It does sort of feel like unfinished. And so that's, I think, what keeps it below the Packers one to DJ Moore and keeps it below Garrett breaking the sack record. But outside of that,
I'm not going to lie. I think it's on a completely different level than the Packers one. I have it at number 1 as well. And
okay,
you just don't see anything like it in sports. Like that's just the kind of thing that you imagined. as a kid, and it never actually happens. Of like, oh, it's fourth down. Oh, there's 20 seconds left in the game. Oh, I run back. I run backwards 20 yards. Like I think about Rodgers and Janis. That's its probably closest comp. There's dual Hail Marys on that drive, right? Last second prayer, miraculous catch, goes to overtime in the divisional round, but they don't end up winning. It's very similar. But you don't get that level of scramble and that level of no one maybe in history has gone back that far and bought himself space that way before making the throw. And if someone had never seen football before and you showed them that play, they'd be like, that's as good as it gets, man. Like a soccer player dribbled backwards, turned around and had a screamer that went, a quarter of the way across the field and was in the corner of the net and the goalkeeper's diving to save it. You'd be like, yeah, that's, if Yamal did that, you'd be like, in any World Cup game, you'd be like, oh yeah, that's like instant. It's an instant classic. If Aaron Judge hits a grand slam down 3 in a game or down 4 in a game, like bases loaded, 1 out left, like biggest up and coming star in the sport, like does something like that. It's a movie. It's absolutely box office. I had to put it at number 1, and I don't think anything else particularly comes close to how I felt when that play got completed. Like it really wasn't.
Maybe that should be number 1. Like you're right. I don't know if anything comes close to the emotion of like. I mean, I literally jumped out of my seat and screamed. I'm like that was the most insane throw I've ever. Like I don't think you can.
Right, you say ever, and we're even talking just this year.
Right.
You say that's the most insane throw I've ever seen in my life. You have your number 2 ahead of it.
Yeah, but it's like it again. I think if we're talking moment, like it's the most incredible throw, but the fact that they don't win the game minimizes the actual the impact, I guess. Which like
and Stafford does make a ridiculous throw later and completes that, and the Rams go on to win. And I don't think I have a losing player anywhere else on the list except for like Loop, who did something bad, and that's why it's an insane moment.
I guess
Caleb's throw kind of transcends these. The exception kind of proves the rule, where like this throw was so insane that like I gotta tip my cap.
Like you can't do this shit in video. Like the only game you could do this in is like Roblox, dude. That's Roblox football mechanics. Like that's.
You could do it back in Madden 16, if I remember correctly, when they first added that aggressive catch. You could do it back then.
You can do it in Madden. This is a true video game moment. Sometimes announcers use this is like a video game incorrectly, like Saquon's reverse hurdle. Like you can't do that in Madden.
That animation isn't in the game.
That animation isn't in the game.
They had to add that into the game. Yeah,
running backwards and then green.
You can do this in Madden because even with like the scrambler ability that lets you like activate into a sprinter with the quarterback to then like stop and then throw it even further, like you would need that ability and like bazooka. I just
right. And your X factors on. The thing is, it's only ever happened in Madden before. Like that legitimately looked like a play that could only happen in Madden. Like in the NBA, you don't see guys running back to half court and then turning around and throwing the 3 up and it goes in. You might see that on my park every game.
Yeah, that they do that shit in 2.
And the Caleb throw felt like someone doing that in an actual professional sport and having it tie up a playoff game. It was ridiculous.
It was ridiculous. Yeah. I could see it being 1. They needed to win. They really did. Like if he completes that pass and they win, it might be the greatest moment in pro sports history.
Okay.
Is it like it's gonna be compared up there with LeBron's block? It's gonna be compared up there.
No way.
Are you, dude?
I'm 1,000%. No, how are we even considering that would have been on the level of?
If they go
LeBron.
for 2 and win it, I don't know, man.
Jesus, guys, come on. What round did this happen in?
It did happen in round 2.
It did happen in round 2.
Okay. That's versus Game 7 of the finals, coming back down from 3-1 against the team that had the most wins in history.
You're
with
right.
LeBron, with LeBron leaving
this throw
Cleveland
may
and
have been
coming
better
back,
than
and they'd never
LeBron's
had one.
block, like from a skill standpoint.
It would not have been remotely on the same level.
Imagine if Ray Allen like spun around before shooting that shit, bro. Imagine if Ray Allen. It would be like if Ray Allen's shot was like a half quarter. Or a half court. Yeah, a half court. Or
imagine if Caleb had hit a play like that to win it all. Like
to win the Super Bowl.
Like it's I just don't think it's comparable in the slightest. I really don't.
Well, if they win this game, then maybe they do go on to win the Super Bowl. Who knows?
Probably not.
Yeah.
I don't think they beat the Seahawks.
No. But he's Iceman. He's Iceman.
He's great. I haven't won.
Well, and again, part of the reason that it made it so special was all the Iceman moments that happened before. Like,
right.
Oh, it's 4th and 8 versus the Packers. It's the post. It's all the things we're talking about. It's the Raiders comeback. It's, the Vikings, the Giants, all these comebacks that he has. And then he's been doing it all year. What do you have for us next? And then he tops it all with the best throw yet. Like it kept adding and adding and adding and adding, and then culminated with just that. And it's like, this guy is just this guy's unstoppable in a clutch moment. Like, how is he just going to do this all the way to the Super Bowl? Like, is this just how it's going to be?
Yeah, it really did feel like he
and then
like,
Cam Kitchens happened.
He wanted to be in those like insane high pressure moments more so than just playing football.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to throw an RPO. He doesn't want to hand it off on inside zone. He wants the madness. He wants all the craziness that comes with football.
So your top 3 is the post, this play, and Garrett's. Not in that order, but Garrett's record, the post record, versus Green Bay, and then
post versus Green Bay, and then yes, this.
And Matt, this is your number 1. Do we know your number 2 and 3?
Number 2 is McMillan interception versus the Bills. Yep. Number 3 is Seattle's goal line stand against
I have that at 2.
Stafford. Yeah, this play is what decided the season as much as anything. And you could say, well, Seattle got the ball back and the Rams had a chance to stop them. Very true. So it wasn't, if it had been like 30 seconds left and Seattle knees it out, then this is number 1 by a country mile for me. But, there's no guarantee that Seattle drives down and scores again. And maybe even if they do, they don't burn as much clock. I think that this just decided too much for it not to be in the top 3 at least.
Yeah, if I was a Seahawks fan and I was thinking about the last year and there are some other moments from this game. The muff punt, I definitely thought about.
But it wasn't at the end. Being at the end means a lot.
Yeah, and just the way that it happened, the play took a long time. And I thought a lot of cinema in Stafford clearly looking at that running back rail route, and Love starts on a blitz and then realizes he's got to cover somebody, and he turns around and you're like, oh my goodness, there it is. They're going to score. And then D-Law peels off and guards it. And then Stafford has to move off of it. So the play is still going, right? He's looking for a target. He finds one. It's a really good throw. It's accurate. And then Witherspoon makes a play on the ball. Everything about what the Seattle Seahawks were this year as champions can kind of be boiled down to that play, I think.
I agree. I totally think I think that's their grand moment for sure. For sure.
A grand moment. And McVay called it a fortuitous bust right there. Like, there's no way that end was supposed to peel there. And on the mic'd up, you can hear McDonald say, like, where's our end? Oh my goodness. Like, and for D-Law to make that decision in that moment to go win the game and win basically the championship for the Seahawks, like, yeah, that's the one that you point to and you say, this was just a different kind of team, a different kind of ball knowledge, a different type of togetherness.
Just a great, well-coached team, yeah.
I think it's crazy that, like, after how good of a year Lawrence had, like, they really didn't need him in the Super Bowl.
It was I mean, he had his plays.
Yeah, he did. But, like, the big sacks weren't really.
They didn't need
really
Leonard Williams either, and they didn't need anybody. Like, I had a video on TikTok before the game where I was like, dude, I really think Leonard Williams and D-Law are going to win MVP of this game because they don't have anybody to block them. And they don't have anybody to block anybody. Derek Hall could have won MVP more easily than them.
That's what I'm saying. Derek Hall, Uchenna Nwosu, like.
I did also put $1 on Uchenna Nwosu Super Bowl MVP, and I was able to cash it out at $1.68.
That's actually
after the game when I knew he wasn't going to win, but he had the touchdown. So like the odds were somewhat better than when he began, because he began at like plus 22,500.
That's
I didn't think about Hall. I wanted to cover my bases with these Seahawks edge rushers because I knew that there was gonna be a moment like that pick six that Nwosu had, and it's like I just gotta make sure that I got the guy who either forces the fumble or catches it. So I was like, I need Williams, I need Nwosu, if it would have been Hall, I would have been mad. I would have been so mad.
I put $1 on Jason Myers.
They didn't even let you vote for him, though.
Did they not?
I think like on the NFL website, they wouldn't. At what point in the game did you put $1 on Jason Myers?
After his third field goal. Because I was like, it's 9-0.
It would have had to come down to a game-winning field goal, and it could have, I guess, at one point if the Patriots had completed the comeback, and then he like nails like a 57-yarder. Yeah, maybe.
That's kind of.
I mean, if he scores all their points, then it's kind of hard to give it to somebody else, But that's just not what ended up happening.
No, yeah. When it was 12-0, I was like, oh, dude, this might happen. But no, it didn't. So, yeah, those are all of our moments. Theo, what was your top three again?
So my top three was the Rams touchdown, the 4th and 4, and
yes,
Myles Garrett breaking the sack record. Those were my top three.
Okay, cool. And then Matt, yours were
Caleb throw, McMillan interception versus the Bills, and Seattle's goal line stand at 3.
Wow. And then mine was the Garrett sack record, Iceman against the Packers in overtime, and then Iceman against the Rams running straight backwards. So a lot of Caleb Williams on this list, but overall, these were our top 10 moments of the season. And we thank you all for tuning in. But before we get out, Theo Ash NFL, I need you to tell the good people about our friends over at Square. Give them something to leave with.
Yes. If you loved today's episode, support for it came from Square. And they have big news. During Square's biannual releases event, they launched a wave of innovative new tools to help local businesses run faster, smarter, and more profitably. From AI that answers your toughest questions to tech that simplifies food orders and tracks every dollar. It's all live and it's built for businesses like yours. And right now, listeners can get up to $200 off Square hardware when you sign up at square.com/go/stay-hot. That's SQUARE.com/go/stay-hot. Stay hot. One word. Visit Square and get started because the right tools make all the difference. My favorite coffee shop in Denver, Rooster Cat Coffee, I know they use Square and they run a tight ship over there, not only with their shop, but also with their grounds, just overall. They're more than just the coffee shop. And so Square helped them become, I have to imagine, the empire that they are today, and they can help you as well. Again, they're designed to give these local businesses a competitive edge without the complexity. So if you are ready to sell smarter, run faster, and stress less right now, you can get up to $200 off Square hardware at square.com/go/stay-hot. That's SQUARE.com/go/stay-hot.
Awesome. Thank you, Theo, and thank you all for listening to another episode or watching, if you're on video, another episode of Stay Hot. if you can't get enough of Stay Hot and you just think there's too many days in between these episodes, consider subscribing to us on Patreon as well. Matt does some NBA stuff, sometimes with Theo, sometimes with a guest. Theo and I have been doing draft prospect breakdowns, sometimes with a guest as well. And I just put out a full vlog story time recap of Super Bowl Media Week. So if all that stuff sounds interesting to you, make sure you check out the Stay Hot Patreon as well. But we always appreciate you watching any Stay Hot content on any platform. And until next time, as always, from your favorite fellas here, Matt, Theo, Blaiden, we will catch you on the flippity flop.